Hey, this is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. It is September 10th, 2021. Last night, Joe Biden announced his big COVID push towards forcing companies with 100 or more employees to mandate the vaccination for employees or routine testing. I think it was on a weekly basis. There's a couple of things about this that I think are very telling. One, I don't think there's any precedent. I know there's no precedent for it. I don't think there's any legal capability he has to do this. I don't think this. I'm guessing this will be tested almost immediately by a number of companies to press back against this push that he's making. Apparently, it's a $14,000 fine for every instance of this not happening or anytime this doesn't occur. So if you've got 100 employees, you're looking, millions of dollars. This is an attempt by Biden to make sure that COVID is still front and center, the top story. And I think the thing that's really interesting is that less than a year ago, when caseloads were 2 to 4 times as high as they are currently, Joe Biden ensured the American people that he would not mandate, under any circumstance, he would not mandate the vaccine. He would encourage it. He would do everything he could to make it available to as many people as possible, but he would not mandate it. And this was before almost anybody had a vaccine, period. And now, full reversal. This is what's going to get really tricky about this, is if the vaccines work, and we know that they do, we know that the numbers of vaccinated people that are being hospitalized or dying of COVID are extraordinarily low compared to the unvaccinated people. Vaccines work. So if you're vaccinated, it really doesn't matter what your coworker's doing. You can pass the vaccine as a vaccinated person, so passing it is still happening, right? But you're protected. You're protected against that passing for all intents and purposes. But the unvaccinated, the ones who refuse to get it, for some reason, the mandate has to happen so that they can protect themselves. This doesn't make any sense. There is no reason why you're forcing people to protect themselves. It's a massive step of government into personal freedoms, into private business. It makes no sense to do it scientifically. It makes no sense to do it. And secondarily, freedom-wise, every American should be outraged that this is even a question that is being proctored, that this is a mandate that is being pushed out. It is insane on a level that would have been unfathomable a year ago, even by Joe Biden. And that, I think, is extraordinarily telling that a year ago, he would have thought this is not a place that we should be. When caseloads were higher, when this was a bigger deal, he thought this wasn't possible. Now that it's less of a deal, we've got something like 53% of the American public has 2 doses of the vaccine, 75% has 1. We've got countless out there that have natural immunity already, which is not even counted. It's not even discussed. There is no carve-outs for natural immunity, nothing. And yet, we're still making this COVID push because caseloads are at a quarter of what they were when he said he wouldn't mandate the vaccine. Recognize what's happening here. This is a massive push of government into the private sector. This is probably not legal. It will probably be fought. But I think that's what he wants. He wants it to be fought because then he has an enemy that he can fight against. He has somebody that's trying to do the thing against what he wants to do. He is looking for an adversary. He's looking to make Ron DeSantis that adversary. Ron DeSantis, who allowed parents the freedom to determine whether their kids will be masked in school, whether or not they want to protect themselves. And he is the bad guy for protecting your freedom. He is the bad guy because he's not willing to do what big government wants you to do. That is a direction that this country seems to be willing to move that should scare everybody. The notion that it's more important to be as safe as is humanly possible, safer than we've ever demanded before from any school system, from any company, safer than has ever occurred in the history of this country, is more important than your freedom to decide how safe you want to be. And again, I'm going to reiterate, The vaccine is available for everybody. So you can choose to be as safe as you want to be. You can get the vaccine and all but eliminate this virus from being a problem for yourself. But now you also get to tell your neighbor that they're a bad person if they're not willing to protect themselves the same way that you choose to protect yourself. I don't even know what's happening anymore. That's our Friday. I am so excited to see what happens over this weekend with this mandate. I'm so excited to see how the news coverage of this, if this is going to be just Joe Biden is a hero for stepping out there. I know we've already heard from some folks on MSNBC. They're spinning it that way, that this is a heroic move. He's making the hard choices to become a dictator and an authoritarian on this stuff, which is, again, the willingness of people to tie their own wrists and shackle their ankles to big government is just astounding to me. It's suicide by 1,000 cuts, and it just seems amazing. So anyway, that's our Friday. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content with a little bit of news, a little bit of analysis, and bite-sized chunks, definitely subscribe to the channel. If you think I'm wrong, crazy, completely right, nailed it, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and I will see you after this weekend.